Hey, what car do you drive? A Toyota. Why aren't you supporting domestic brands? I really misjudged you. I would never buy a Japanese car. You don't even have a driver's license. What are you talking about cars for? Why don't you get one? It only costs about 3,000 yen. That's too expensive. I can't afford it. But still, I won't buy a Japanese car. What kind of phone do you use? A domestic one. Oppo A9. Do you know the CMOS sensor in your phone is made by Sony, a Japanese company? I I didn't know that. Are you sure? Is my phone really made in Japan? Let me tell you, Sony is the global leader in this technology. Almost every phone uses a Sony CMOS. Okay. Relax, calm down, buddy. Don't be upset. The Japanese components in your phone aren't just limited to the CMOS, there are also radio frequency chips and many other Japanese parts. Even if the chip isn't made in Japan, the intellectual property in that chip comes from Japan. Everywhere, you know? Even the LED light in your house was invented by the Japanese. You might as well turn off the light before crying to make it more pure. The ultra-nationalist known as Little Pink broke down in tears after suddenly learning an inconvenient truth. Perhaps at that moment, the powerful image of his beloved country shattered in his heart, leading to his emotional collapse. In China, such little pinks are both pitiful and tragic. They are constantly fed inflated notions of national pride, yet rarely stop to reflect on why they can't even afford something as basic as a driver's license. Another type of little pink uses patriotism as a means to gain attention and profit, a practice commonly referred to as earning from patriotism. A recent example involves the influencer Yaren. He gained widespread attention after an incident at Beijing's Old Summer Palace, where he confronted Japanese tourists. On September 7th, a video posted by Yaren showed him angrily confronting Japanese visitors at the historical site. In the video, Yaren, dressed in white clothes with bleached hair, encounters a group of Japanese tourists. One of them, a man speaking Chinese, possibly acting as the group's translator, approaches Yaren with a smile to engage in conversation. Hey, they want to take a picture. Can you move just a little bit? Are you taking photos for the Japanese? You're Japanese? I heard you speaking Japanese just now. You're asking me to move aside for Japanese people here at the Old Summer Palace? Why does it matter who you move aside for? It has nothing to do with which country they're from. Doesn't matter? I think it does. If you think it matters, then forget it. As a Chinese, you're asking me to give way to the Japanese? I won't move. You don't have to. I was just asking politely. You shouldn't even be asking that here, at a place like the Old Summer Palace. As the situation escalated, the Japanese tourists, now visibly angry, began recording the incident on their phones and asked the translator to report it to the police. Yaren arrogantly mocked them, saying, "Can Japanese people even report to the police in China?" Soon after, a group of uniformed individuals, believed to be security guards from the Old Summer Palace, passed by. The translator sought help from them, but the guards showed little interest in stopping Yaren's behavior. One of the guards even joined in the nationalist display, claiming the Old Summer Palace isn't open to Japanese people, and adding, "We hate the Japanese. It's as simple as that. I support giving those Japanese devils a hard time." The translator, shocked by the guard's remarks, questioned whether his statements represent the official position of the Old Summer Palace. The guard quickly denied it and walked away. The tourists, led by the translator, left the scene, but Yaren continued to hurl insults at them, yelling into the camera, "Look at what traitors look like." The video of Yaren's confrontation quickly went viral across Chinese social media platforms, even making it to the trending list. Yaren, who initially expected to gain a wave of patriotic support, found himself facing a backlash this time. The majority of Chinese netizens condemned him for using patriotism as a cover to seek attention, accusing him of exploiting xenophobic sentiments to drive traffic. Others pointed out that his actions were deliberately provocative and labeled him as picking quarrels and provoking trouble, a type of criminal offense in China. They argued that he was in fact tarnishing China's image. Comments flooded in. How petty must we be as a country to prevent someone from simply taking a photo? Doesn't this count as causing trouble? Why doesn't he dare to pull such a stunt at the Japanese embassy in China? Many also criticized the security guard in the video for failing to protect the tourists. Instead of resolving the conflict, he escalated it, with some labeling his actions as gross negligence.
我们不禁想问，这名网红
We can't help but ask, who gave this influencer and their supporters the right to stop Japanese tourists from visiting the old summer palace? Is this really about patriotism? Or are they just damaging China's reputation internationally? That's something worth thinking about. Whether Japanese tourists have the right to visit the old summer palace should be managed according to relevant laws and regulations. Venting personal anger on ordinary Japanese citizens not only exposes these influencers as ignorant of the law, but also makes it clear that their real goal is to profit from patriotism. Following this recent controversy, people have uncovered what could be a related story. In September 2018, a Chinese student named Li Gaoyang, known by his English name Gary, was arrested in California on charges of extortion and other crimes. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison the following year. Some people now suspect that this influencer, known as Yaren, may actually be Li Gaoyang. A search of the influencer's account revealed that the account holder goes by the name Gary, matching his English name. Additionally, several photos posted by the account holder bear a strong resemblance to Li, further fueling the speculation. Both Li and Yaren have shared videos of themselves participating in parkour activities, with Yaren even mentioning that he studied in Los Angeles. In another video, a man wearing a red shirt is seen teaching a woman how to evade paying for a metro ticket. People were quick to identify the man as Yaren. A fan reached out to me saying they just arrived in Paris and don't know how to use the metro, so I'm going to show you how it's done.
Is it really this simple?
Alright, now it's your turn. Just push with your hand like this, swing around. Yes, just like that. Perfect, that's the trick to ride the metro in Paris. Got it? Once you master this, you can ride the metro for free. In this video, a Chinese man wearing a red shirt and sporting light blonde hair is seen teaching a woman how to evade paying for a metro ticket in France. The woman quickly mastered the technique and cheerfully exclaimed,
I didn't expect to succeed on my first try.
Throughout the video, the man appeared smug, and the woman was excited, seemingly unaware of the wrongdoing involved in their actions. Netizens were quick to criticize, calling the man a typical troublemaker, adding that, in China, he's rebranded as a patriotic youth. After all, making money off patriotism is a profitable business. Anti-Japanese and anti-American sentiments are often part of the daily rhetoric for some little pinks. On August 22nd, in Nanjing, capital of Jiangsu province, a private car owner hung a small American flag decoration inside his car, only to be accused of being a spy by a man claiming to be a veteran. In the video, a man in a white short-sleeved shirt is seen having a heated argument with the car owner. The man in the white shirt confronted the car owner, demanding, "Why do you have an American flag in your car?" The car owner responded, "What flag I hang has nothing to do with you." Ignoring this, the man forcibly opened the car door and tore down the American flag decoration. The car owner retorted, "What right do you have to control me?" In response, the man showed a card, claiming, "I'm a veteran. Because you have an American flag, I have the right to question you. I suspect you're a spy." It seems China's nationwide anti-spy campaign is yielding impressive results. Not only are pens and lighters suspected of being spy tools, but even a small decoration could be considered a potential camera or intelligence device. The Little Pinks have fully embraced the government's zero-tolerance approach, ensuring that no suspicious individual is overlooked, with 360-degree surveillance and no exceptions. But their logic often appears a bit lacking. For example, the accusation that someone displaying an American flag is a spy had netizens in stitches. How much water must be in their brain to come up with that? There have been mixed opinions among netizens and experts regarding the argument between the car owner and the veteran. One commentator wrote, "That flag was inside someone's car, and it wasn't even a real flag, just a decoration. You walk around proudly waving the Chinese flag in America, yet you, a grown man and a veteran, can't tolerate a small American flag. Are you afraid of that flag?" First of all, let me make my stance clear. I'm strongly against these so-called veterans stopping people and telling them they can't display the American flag. Why? because this kind of behavior is a perfect example of picking quarrels and provoking trouble. What does that mean? Well, this is exactly what it looks like. It's none of your business, yet you feel the need to start something. Do you even know who the driver is or why he was flying the American flag? For example, someone like Sima Nan, an ultra-nationalist commentator, has property in the US, right? So, is it allowed for him to display the American flag? What right do you have to stop someone's car? Maybe the driver likes America or American culture, so they decided to display the flag. Isn't that their freedom? But being a veteran gives someone the right to interfere with others' freedom? The blogger pointed out that the actions of the man in white didn't bring honor to veterans. Instead, it smeared their reputation. Many legal bloggers have also weighed in on this issue, explaining it from a legal perspective and proving that the driver's actions were completely lawful.
首先，不管是我们的国
According to
情法
China's
还是
national
外
flag
交
law
部关于
and the
涉
Ministry
外
of
升
Foreign
挂
Affairs
和使用国
regulations
旗的
on the
规
use
定
of foreign
都
flags,
没有
there's no
禁止
rule
中
prohibiting
国公
Chinese
民
citizens
悬
from
挂
displaying
外国
foreign
国旗。
flags. After explaining the relevant laws, one blogger pointed out the
车主的
driver's
行为
actions
并
didn't
没有
clearly
明
break
显违
any
反的
laws.
地方。
In fact,
其次，我
what
也
they were
看了一下
displaying
车
was
主
an
悬挂
American
的是一
flag
个美
decoration,
国国旗
not
的
an
头
actual
衔，
American
不是
flag.
正儿八经的美
And
国
since
国
the
旗。
law doesn't cover
法
this,
律对
the
这一块
principle,
其实也是
if
没有
it's
涉
not
及的，
prohibited by
所以
law,
法
it's
无禁
allowed
止即可
applies.
为。
The CCP, under the guise of patriotism, has been trampling on laws, rights, and freedoms, making brainwashed little pinks lose all rationality in the face of hatred. After facing massive online harassment, the car owner, who hung the American flag decoration in his private car, posted a video to apologize.
我当时在车里面
At the
挂上
time,
美国国
I
旗，
hung this
我心里
American
面就
flag
想着
in
说
my car
我
thinking,
确实我
well,
这个东西
the
有点
US
差
is ahead of us in many
我
ways.
挂的国
I
旗
put
是
it there as a
是在
reminder
提醒
that
着
we
我们
must keep
一定
working
要
hard
努力
and
前
strive
进
to surpass the US.
一定要超越美
It's
国
not like what some
啊
people are
不
saying,
是像
that
别人
I'm a
想的那样
traitor
大家
or
说
a
什么
spy
啊
or
我是
anything
对
like
的啊什
that.
么的
I
啊
hope
希望大
everyone
家
can
以后就是
understand, and
以
please
后
stop
不要再
attacking
这
me.
种啊
It's clear from the car owner's apology video that his words were filled with reluctance and frustration. Many people expressed their disbelief, wondering why it was the car owner who had to apologize. Did he do anything wrong? What exactly was his mistake? One commentator lamented, "Can't patriotism be a bit more rational? This truly is a strange country." Another comment echoed similar sentiments. It doesn't matter what someone hangs in their car, as long as it's legal. It's exhausting how some people use patriotism to morally blackmail others. Yet the actions of the so called little pinks often leave people baffled and frustrated. Their obsessive nitpicking is one thing, but their logic sometimes defies belief. Following the controversy with Chinese influencer Coach Zhang, who caused a scene at the Evergreen Laurel Hotel in Paris when they refused to display the Chinese flag, another influencer has stirred up a similar incident. On August 25th, in a Hilton hotel in Hebei, China, an influencer became outraged upon noticing that the hotel lobby displayed flags from many other countries, but not China's. He immediately confronted the hotel staff, demanding to know why the Chinese flag was missing. The influencer angrily reprimanded the staff for not displaying the Chinese flag in the hotel lobby despite the presence of other national flags.
你在哪个土地上生活，自己不知道。
Do you know where you live? He scolded. You need to have a Chinese flag. Where's your patriotism? This is something very serious. In the end, the hotel staff decided to compromise by removing all the flags. The influencer stood by, overseeing the process, and even advised the staff to add more Chinese elements to the hotel decor. After watching the staff take down the flags, he lectured them again. China is so powerful now. Don't you feel proud to live here? I certainly do. It was later revealed that the flags in the hotel lobby were those of countries participating in this year's UEFA European Championship. There were no flags from outside Europe, hence no Chinese flag. Many people ridiculed the influencer, calling him clueless and accusing him of trying to cash in on controversy for attention, only to become a laughingstock. The influencer eventually deleted the video. In China, patriotism has become a lucrative business. Those who know how to seize the right moment can profit immensely, and the so called national heroes have mastered the art of using patriotism to drive engagement. On September 10th, Apple held its 2024 fall product launch event. Just a few hours later, Huawei unveiled its own new product, a tri-fold smartphone. The timing was impeccable, and once again, Apple found itself accused of insulting China. Recently, some Chinese people took to social media to criticize Apple, claiming that the model featured on Apple's official website had slanted eyes, and that this was an act of discrimination. These people question why Apple didn't choose a model with larger eyes, accusing the company of deliberately using a narrow eyed model to insult Asians. Others were quick to push back on the claims. One person commented, "Slanted eyes are considered an insult to China? Our own leaders have slanted eyes. Does that mean they're insulting China too?" They added that other Asian communities, such as Japanese, Koreans, and people from other countries, haven't made such accusations of discrimination. How fragile are Chinese sensibilities? They asked, "Be careful, or all the shattered hearts made of glass will cut your feet." As Apple and Huawei unveiled their latest phones, some people are expressing fatigue over the predictable controversies. "It's that time again," one user remarked, "but can we stop recycling last year's drama? How about some fresh creativity?" The previous Apple insulted China incident also coincided with new product launches from both tech giants. On August 29th, 2023, Huawei held its product launch ahead of Apple, hoping to get a head start. But once the iPhone 15 hit the market, it overshadowed Huawei, flying off the shelves across Chinese platforms. Shortly after, the now familiar controversy accusing Apple of insulting China resurfaced. A new controversy is brewing on Chinese social media, where some users have accused Apple of disrespecting China. The criticism centers around an image on Apple's website for its Apple Watch specialist page, which features a model with braided hair. Some users claimed, "We cut off our braids 100 years ago, yet Apple is still humiliating us." And braids and slanted eyes, out of 10 million people, you couldn't find someone better looking? They questioned Apple's intentions and demanded an apology. The individual in the image is actually a Native American woman, not a so called braided man. Some people ridiculed the accusations, saying the fragile hearts and insecurity levels are off the charts. And how insecure do some people have to be to think the world is targeting them? A Native American photo used on a global website somehow turns into an insult to China. That's beyond ridiculous. In recent years, while anti American sentiment appears to be on the rise, largely fueled by state media and online propagandists, many Chinese citizens remain aware of the reality. They see that while top officials denounce the US publicly, they send their children, families, and wealth to America or other developed countries. Despite the constant negative talk about the US, Chinese embassies are still flooded with visa applications waiting for their interviews. Some Chinese people are calling out what they see as hypocrisy in certain nationalist rhetoric. "Are they schizophrenic?" One user commented. "No, they're just rotten to the core." The sentiment extends to anti Japanese rhetoric as well. The Chinese government's continuous effort to stoke anti Japanese sentiment, using issues like Japan's wartime invasion of China and the recent release of nuclear wastewater, but it hasn't dampened the enthusiasm of Chinese youth for traveling to Japan. According to a report from Japanese media, the Japan National Tourism Organization on May 15th revealed that in April alone, 533,600 visitors from the mainland China traveled to Japan, ranking second among all foreign visitors. The report noted that Chinese tourists were already creating a buzz in Japan long before the May holiday surge, with April numbers sparking a small wave of media coverage. This surge in tourism comes even as China's domestic consumption continues to stagnate. Despite the government's efforts to encourage spending, Many young people have embraced a more passive, minimalist lifestyle, often choosing budget travel when vacationing within China. Little Pinks harshly criticized travelers with comments like, "Are you going to Japan to drink radioactive water?" and even call for government intervention to curb outbound tourism to Japan. At the same time, a significant number of young Chinese tourists remain unfazed. Their attitude? You can say what you want. I'm going to enjoy my trip. And so travel to Japan continues to boom.